So, Kyle,
Hello.
I just watched the teaser trailer for Star Trek Picard Season 2.
Well, specifically the second teaser, because you remember there was a teaser before.
Oh, so there was.
This is more of a trailer than a teaser, right?
Time is broken, and so
Time is
so
broken.
is my brain after watching.
So you liked it then? You liked the trailer?
I don't know. I think it's ambitious if what they're planning pans out. I have no faith in them to pan that out, though.
But Nathan, John Delancey was on screen. Did you clap?
I smiled. For the record audience, I watched it with Kyle watching me watch it. We done a live reaction.
This is literally seconds before we started recording.
Yeah, this is like brand new, ladies and gentlemen. I still have to process my thoughts. I haven't read Twitter. I haven't seen anything. This is like an initial instincts you're getting right now. So I thought they were gonna. Well, I suppose that would take some time. They probably wouldn't have had time to do it. I actually thought we were gonna see like a briefly de-aged John Delancey snap his fingers.
We might still see that in the show.
We might still see that in the show, but I guess for the trailer they might have not had time to polish him off yet. But yeah, it was interesting. Some people had weird Starfleet logos on their chests because time was broken.
Yep, time is broken.
That's
a classic modern Trek setup, isn't it?
Time is broken. I think it's actually quite TNG. Actually, it reminded me of. Do you remember this episode of The Next Generation where the ship slowly starts to turn into like a Mayan temple and Data has a bunch of masks?
Yes, of course I remember that episode. A classic.
A classic. Well, I think this reminded me of that because
you don't want to go with parallels. You don't want to go with yesterday's Enterprise. You're going with masks.
Well, clearly time travel is involved, right? It's broken after all.
Yes,
but like things are just appearing around the ship, or indeed in this case on people that shouldn't be there. Like it looks to me like things have disappeared. 7 of 9 is gone into a state
face
without implants, not because the actor doesn't want them, of course, but for plot reasons. I mean,
not because they look really cheap on modern cameras.
Yeah, but because she doesn't want them. And things start like Starfleet badges, weird medals, different things are showing up. And it reminded me of in Masks where things just started to appear and disappear, like the captain's chair turned into like a big Mayan table, I seem to remember. Like things with transporters and holodecks were happening. Now I know that was because of technology and probes, but things just started appearing and other things started to disappear. I wonder if that's what's going to happen in this show in relation to time. Things are going to pop up on people's outfits or indeed disappear from people's outfits because time is changing things. 7 of 9 was never assimilated by the Borg. No implants. Picard never left Starfleet, but at the same time it feels like Q's intervening because he's aware that he did leave Starfleet. Because he looks, he's got a sore head and he goes, things are weird. And then, hello, Monka Piton.
Let me tell you, are you excited to see the return of any other characters? Remember that Soji was in that trailer? We saw Agnes. Are you excited for the return of these characters?
I actually forgot Soji existed, and honest to God, I was like, oh, that's that person from season 1. I wonder what they're doing back. Completely forgetting I completely forgot she was a main character. I was like, oh yeah,
they're the core cast, Nathan. These beloved characters that they set up so well.
What's her name? Dr. Tassoni? That's Mass Effect. That's Mass Effect. What's the lady?
Agnes Jurati.
Agnes Jurati. She murders someone in the first season, doesn't she?
Yes, she murders the guy who invented
her
androids.
Boyfriend. Yeah.
Yes.
I liked her in the first season. I seem to recall. Murder aside.
Yeah.
And I'm curious. I mean, they're never going to address that Picard's an android. I hope. Maybe Q will make fun of it for a second.
Maybe, you know what's going to happen? Q's going to snap his fingers and go, you're not an android anymore.
Yeah, you're just human. We saw Picard in the Starfleet uniform for a second. I wonder if that's another flashback. Do you think everything we see is going to be an instigating incident from something that happened between Nemesis and Picard season 1?
Yes.
Romulan evacuation flashback. Time is broken flashback. He can't do anything anymore because he's
they're not going to mention a single thing to do with Romulans this season. It's not going to happen. People didn't like that plot line. They didn't know what to do with it. It's dropped. It's gone. There's no Romulans in this season. I almost guarantee it.
What I quite liked about JJ's vision for Star Trek, and indeed for this new era of Star Trek we're in, that's back in the prime timeline, is I actually thought the destruction of Romulus and refugees, and I thought that was really interesting and how that would change the galactic power, but this show just ain't interested in it.
I think what you're trying to say is it could be interesting.
It could be interesting, yeah, it could be interesting. Like, I remember before they made the show, I had thoughts of what must... Because obviously before they made Discovery Season 1 and all that, the Prime timeline essentially hadn't been heard of since Spock came back to the Kelvin timeline.
Mm-hmm.
And I always thought, I wonder how the Prime... how the gang in the Prime universe is dealing with what Spock left behind. And now we're finding out, and my god, it's not great. But it could have been great.
What happened is Starfleet abandoned a bunch of refugees because unrelated androids blew up their space station. Their
Enough about season 1, Kaya. Enough about season 1. Let's talk about time being broken.
It's a classic Discovery setup where they present a big problem. It's exactly the same structure as every season of Discovery, basically.
Every season must be universal scale odds.
Exactly.
It can't just be a small story. It's the galaxy is facing the biggest threat ever, and our show is going to be a story about stopping the end of the world. It's so tiring. It's so tiring. It's almost funny. Like, people in Star Trek were, unless it was the films, were very rarely superheroes. They were just smart people on a spaceship. If they didn't succeed in their mission most of the time, the wider universe would have kept spinning, even if some people didn't have a great time. You know?
Yeah, if they hadn't solved this diplomatic dispute, these two planets would be at war. But life goes on. Yeah,
life goes on. Yeah, but now it's like everything's gonna end as you know it. We are out of time. I happen to think that this might be in some sort of effort to cash in on the multiverse craze that we're going up against. I said that to you before we record.
I think that's a safe bet.
Yeah, it's like...
We've got Multiverse of Madness coming, we've got the Flashpoint stuff happening.
Flashpoint, WandaVision, Loki, Multiverse of Madness, Spider-Man 3. We're in the height of... People are fed up with time travel. We're in the multiverse now, baby.
Yes.
So I think we're going to try and see alternate variations. They don't have the balls to show a Kelvin character, do they? We're not seeing Zachary Quinto's Spock in this show, right?
No, I don't think so. What's like the most ballsy thing they would try? I mean, this show's all about cashing in on TNG nostalgia. So, no, they're not going to show Michael Burnham.
We're going to see Lieutenant Barclay.
We might see a Barclay. I wouldn't be shocked to see a Barclay. It'll be like an alternate timeline where Barclay is like a super suave captain. No, that would be too fun. No, the only one they care about for alternate timelines is like the Apocalypse timeline. That's the one they're going to go with.
The one where Riker had a big, great bushy beard. Great big bushy beard.
Yes, when they're shooting at war shuttles to stop them from resetting the timeline. Yeah,
I like that episode.
I like that episode too. It's a fun episode.
You think this is going to be a whole season about that premise?
It's a fun episode.
It's not a fun season. Was Q wearing Picard's outfit?
He was wearing some weirdo suit thing with like a flower on it, I think.
I thought he was just wearing exactly what Picard was wearing. Like, that's the joke. He always wears whatever the person he's taunting wears.
No, he wasn't wearing Picard's strange old man jacket, I don't think.
Strange old man jacket.
You know what I mean? He has an old man leather jacket. It's not like a cool leather jacket. I know what you mean. It's like an elderly leather jacket.
Yeah. Were they inferring that Q broke into Picard's house in that trailer? Like,
I think it was inferring that like the Romulan house servants have gone missing. Like, they disappeared. Yeah. They got Thanos snapped.
But like the door was like off its hinges, and then Q shows up. Like, Q could just snap.
Oh, I missed that. Right? Yeah, like Q kicked the door in.
Q kicked the door in. Q surely could just pass through it like it's nothing. Why so aggressive, Q? I mean, obviously we don't know Q done that. He probably didn't, in fact. But I wouldn't put it past them to have Q have like an aggressive entrance. Mm-hmm. Instead of a trumpet and a mariachi band, he's got like a chainsaw and a strip kick.
I mean, they're not going to do Q as good as TNG. We already know that for sure. I mean, John Delancey is great, but he can only carry so much.
I wonder how hard or easy it is to mess up Q, though. He's such just like, he is an Agent of Chaos character. He is Loki.
Listen, we've seen him on Lower Decks. It is possible to mess up Q.
I think that was just him phoning in the performance for like a 30-second recording shoot. I think in this trailer, he looked pretty much full of life.
Sure, they offered him a big buttload of money, I'm sure. And the chance of being relevant again.
Yeah, I mean, now I always think of him as Thingy's dad from Breaking Bad. I remember seeing him in Breaking Bad and thinking, hey, I wonder what he would be like if they brought him back as Q now. And that was like 7 years ago I thought about that.
See, I think of him now because Jenny Nicholson did a video on BronyCon, and apparently John Delancey made a documentary about bronies.
Ha! Did he?
Yes.
Good for John Delancey. Good for him. So, outside of Q and time being broken, and there were some set photos of things looking a little bit Terran Empire-y, like, I don't...
Which doesn't make any sense, by the way.
They could do some interesting commentary about the wheel that keeps on turning, like humans ended their struggle, and then when they got their freedom, they just became as bad as they always were again. But this show...
Oh my gosh, fascist dictator Miles O'Brien, that would be amazing.
Happy, his name was.
Yes. Smiley.
Smiley. Oh, Happy. God, I'm thinking of like Happy Gilmore.
He carves like Joker smiles into people as his calling sign.
Jesus Christ. And that's what he would do in this new era of Star Trek.
That would be... That would be awful, but it would be amazing.
And he would have the USS Defiant as his flagship, but it's like been enlarged 50 times.
Yes.
It's like a
you know that Cole Meany would love that performance. He would milk that to shit.
Oh yeah. I wouldn't fault Cole Meany an ounce. He would come back and do it. We might still rip the show to shreds, but no, come back and do it. You need that. It might be very fulfilling to come back and do that. I want to see more Garrick. Did they kill him in the Mirror Universe? Fascist Garrick?
No, the joke was they all killed the Ferengi. I don't know if anyone else died much in the Mirror. I know loads of people died in what I'm talking about.
Odo got exploded in the first episode.
Yeah, Cisco died between seasons.
I remember the last time we saw Garrick, he was in like a dog collar around Fascist Worf.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because Worf was like the dumbass leader of the Empire.
I think Quark may have poisoned him. I don't know if we saw him die. Fascist characters in Star Trek. I want to see more. Right, I think that's us done. We were able to get up to about 15 minutes of Star Trek.
Okay, end of
that's
episode.
Out the way.
We're good.
No more. End of episode. Roll the music.
It's E3 week, Nathan.
Is it even called E3 this year? E3's kind of coming and going now as the years go along because everyone does their own thing. Like Microsoft pulled out and they do their thing in the Microsoft Convention Center, but they do it at the same time as E3.
I think the Microsoft Bethesda one this year was still technically E3. I think it was.
You know what? I'll take your word for it. I haven't really looked much into it, but I in my mind, I'm remembering a distinct lack of E3 marketing or content online this year. I don't think E3's long for this world, I should note.
Here's the thing, a lot of the conferences aren't called E3 anymore, but people still just call it E3 just because that's become like the word for this time of year when games are announced. It doesn't really matter what you call it, it's E3. Yeah,
E3 is just like, it's now a generic game season, it's not a specific branded event.
Yeah.
It's like a Hoover. It's a vacuum cleaner, but Hoover got the word. Or I'm just going to Google it, you know? You might be using Bing, but you're just going to Google it. One company will always get the word. Like it's on Netflix. It might not be, but that's the streaming platform everyone knows. So you just say that's on Netflix. What's our initial knee-jerk thoughts on the Xbox Bethesda showcase this year? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
Thumbs up. I think they actually nailed it this year. I think obviously a lot of that has to do with them buying Bethesda, but they finally have a couple of actual exclusives now, which for years and years and years it's been the biggest drawback of Xbox. As you look at PlayStation and go, oh, I want all of those nice exclusives you have. I want Spider-Man, I want God of War, I want Uncharted. But now we've got
Xbox only had Halo.
We've got Halo and we've got Forza.
Gears of War.
Yeah.
I'm surprised we never saw a Gears thing this year.
That's true, they normally have a Gears thing, don't they?
Nothing from Fable either.
No, Fable's still... Like, that trailer that they showed last year, that was very, very early development. I wouldn't be surprised if nothing in that trailer is reflective.
No, I wouldn't. I would
be actually see in game.
Except Stephen Fry, hopefully.
Hopefully Stephen Fry, of course.
No, I enjoyed the Xbox Bethesda showcase this year as well. I thought it was quite good. I don't really know what exclusives you're talking about in terms of games that I actually want, though, so you'll have to enlighten me.
Well, Starfield is the big one that they got as an exclusive. The new Bethesda RPG IP.
I seem to always have noticed when it said console launch exclusive, and I was like, that just means it's coming to PlayStation later.
Nope, Starfield was an Xbox exclusive.
Starfield's an Xbox exclusive. That's quite good. I don't know anything about Starfield. Apparently James Gunn's really looking forward to it based on his Twitter. Is it going to be like No Man's Sky for Xbox?
No, it's, good old Todd Howard has described it as Skyrim but in space. So, we'll see. That's quite a promise.
They might actually get me to play that game.
It's possible. We'll see. It's regardless of even if it's a good game or not, it's a good get for Xbox because it's the first Bethesda Game Studios IP in like 20 years. So
yeah,
it's something.
We heard a little bit more about 12 Minutes.
Yes.
My favourite indie game that we're never going to play.
Yep.
Well, I'm going to play it.
I didn't notice until this trailer that it has like quite a star-studded cast. I think
I noticed that the last showcase had a good cast. I think I seem to remember that. I wonder if that's why Spider-Man's taking so long to get a trailer out, because he's so busy doing 12 minutes.
But surely he only needs to do 12 minutes of recording, right? That's how the game works.
Yeah, that's one straight take, 12 minutes of dialogue, yeah. I'm really looking forward to 12 minutes. Also, obviously, we've got a bunch of Halo stuff. I'm sure we'll speak about that in more detail a bit later, but something I'm really excited about, you'll know where I'm going, was Sea of Thieves Season 3, A Pirate's Life.
That was one of the biggest surprises of the event. For people who don't know, they have unveiled an official Sea of Thieves Pirates of the Caribbean crossover event.
And it never leaked. No one saw it coming.
No. I didn't even consider that. That's actually extremely impressive that this didn't get leaked, because it's such a big deal.
A big get. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's absolutely amazing. And it comes out, like, recording this on June 16th.
Yeah, like
it comes out
week,
on June 22nd. Yeah, it's next Tuesday it comes out. And it's a full... I think they might drip some of the stuff out, because it's going to be like 5 new tall tales and stuff. I think they might come out over the course of a couple of weeks. Jack Sparrow and Davy Jones and the Flying Dutchman. I think they seem to be summoning Krakens.
Mr. Gibbs.
More Krakens. Mr. Gibbs. I think that every voice actor they've got is just the guy who does the voice for all the games. I don't think it's actually Johnny Depp or Bill Nye. Mm-hmm. But I think the guy they've got doing Mr. Gibbs is the actor.
Yeah, he's not A-list. You can get that guy.
You can get that guy. It's like Clark Gregg to do Agent Coulson.
Johnny Depp's too much of a diva to do video games, but you get your B-list actors who'll do video games.
He's also in Spicy Water at the minute, so I think maybe the
studios
would be hesitant to touch him.
They can use his face, though.
They can use his face, which I thought was really surprising, considering the movie studios seem to be slowly backing off from using Jack Sparrow. Not immediately, but they seem to be quite like, we might start to switch Pirates of the Caribbean to focus on new people, which I don't think they can do, by the way. But
no, they can't.
Really
they might have been able to do it with Barbossa, but they killed off Barbossa. So
yeah, he was the only actor in that franchise that was still like happy to be there. But I think he killed off. Jeffrey Rush wanted out.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was so happy they brought this in. I quite like Sea of Thieves, but I understand that I'm fighting an uphill battle convincing folk to play it. I got you to play it. Me and friend of the show, Ryan, really enjoy playing it. And another friend enjoys playing it. A bunch of other people trying to convince are all kind of no-goes on it. They don't want to touch it again. But it's going to be great. And now we've got proper momentum to go on to it now, because we're not going on and saying, hey, let's find our own fun. Now it's, hey, let's go with Jack Sparrow to the sea, or free Jack Sparrow from the Sea of the Damned, and then go fight Davy Jones and Krakens and new crab people and evil mermaids.
We don't have to make our fun anymore. The fun has been tailor-made for us. We have no imagination of our own.
But I think it's going to be an absolutely brilliant time. I'm happy to feel vindicated in my love for Sea of Thieves.
I have been impressed by the game's endurance, because when it came out, it was not well received.
Yeah, It seems to have quite successfully rebuilt and is built up and is still going, you know. People don't seem to think it will get a sequel because their development teams seem fully invested in trying to help fix this game.
Yeah.
And it's obviously Rare isn't the biggest studio in the world, so they're probably giving it their all. They probably couldn't even start on a Sea of Thieves 2 until they finished this one.
I mean, what would you do with the second one, though? This is more of a game that you keep updating. It's stylized enough that it's not going to age, I don't think, for a while yet, so...
Yeah, no, I think it's going to look good for years to come. But I think it's more like some baked-in mechanics that you can't change easily. You're just as well as making another game. It'd be called a sequel, but it would probably just be like another variation of it. But yeah, no, so I'm really looking forward to playing this game. It's going to be great. That was actually my big showstopper for the entire performance. They dropped it right in the middle, and I was like, right, nothing's going to top it. I don't even think Halo surprised me that much.
But Nathan, they did announce Slime Rancher 2, so...
Yeah, Slime Rancher 2, that's a surprise. I liked Slime Rancher 1. I never finished it, but I played quite a bit of it. It was a nice relaxing game, nice chill game.
You didn't like the what they actually ended the showcase on was the vampire game, which I've forgotten the name of now.
The vampire game, it reminded me of like a Left 4 Dead or with vampires.
Yeah, it was a purely cinematic trailer, so it was not indicative of gameplay.
You know the trailer they showed for that
indicative of gameplay.
You know the new trailer they showed for that like Suicide Squad game or that Arkham Knight game they've got coming out? That's
yes.
It reminded me of that, and we were like, it's a quirky, diverse squad doing stuff against monsters, you know?
You've got the scientist one, you've got the edgelord one, you've got the poppy fun one. There was another one there that I can't remember.
I know.
Who's the fourth trope?
Kyle, I can't remember. I'll be honest with you. I barely paid attention.
They had the gun that shoots like wooden stakes, so that's fun.
That's fun. That's great fun. That's what I'm playing the game for.
No, there was a couple of Left 4 Dead clones at E3 this year.
Yeah, there was. There really was. If Valve ain't gonna do it, someone else has got to do it, you know?
Nice. Yeah, because that's another one that I think is an Xbox exclusive, the Back 4 Blood one. I think that's an Xbox exclusive as well.
There was a new Forza thing. I'm always amazed with how much detail and effort they put into Forza, and I just don't get it.
I know. It tricked me. It tricked me in this one, because I'm like, oh, they've got this nice desert. Is this like a Western game? And then a car drives past it. Oh, it's Forza. Okay, fine.
Putting heart into that game, and I just can't bring myself to give a toss.
It's got an audience.
No, it's
people like them.
There are folk out there. I will never deny that. I just do not understand it personally. But I guess that's the same with Madden or FIFA or, whatever.
Or there's so many snowboarding games.
I was
this year.
so surprised that they did a whole segment on a snowboarding game, and this is the time to go to the bathroom, right?
Yes.
It's like, you know how they don't make golf games anymore because no one plays golf games.
You say that, but they did announce Mario Golf at the Nintendo conference.
Well, that's Mario. That's like a party game at that point. But you're never getting the next Tiger Woods experience. When is that going to happen to the snowboarding games or skateboarding games?
The skateboarding games I get because there's all the tricks and stuff, and I can see how you can gamify that.
You can do that on snowboards.
Yes, but the thing with the snowboarding is it never looks as cool as a skateboard, because I'm sure it feels cool to snowboard. I've never been, but when you're just watching it on a screen, it's just kind of like people gracefully flying across snowfields. There's no drama to it.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I would agree. I kind of feel that way about skateboarding too, by the way. I guess it's like the concrete in it, it looks like it'll be painful if something goes wrong.
Yeah,
I guess.
There's more of an edge to skateboarding. I at least get it. I'm not saying I enjoy it, but I get it.
Yeah, okay, I'll grant you that. I do understand that a bit more, I guess. Is there any other games that particularly sparked your fascination and imagination?
Yes, Ubisoft announced an open world Avatar game.
Oh yeah. I don't care.
That's my reaction too.
I think Avatar is a wonderful film. It's the most successful film of all time. But then it took over from Endgame again, so it's now the most successful once more.
Yeah. It's back.
It's back. It's back,
baby.
baby. I get the executives in the boardroom signing the deal in their suits. Avatar, this brilliant open world, expansive, James Cameron done it, biggest film ever made. It's got, 3 sequels that have already been shot. Because I think Avatar, it gets some shit, but I think what genuinely staggers me about Avatar is that it done what no other film has done, including Endgame, where it wasn't part of a franchise. It wasn't part of you've seen every film, this is the big build-up. It was just one film. It just done that. It done what it done. It became the most successful film of all time.
It's still weird to me to think that it's the most successful film of all time, though, just always, because it's not that special. It's a fairly average film. It's not bad. It's a fine film. It's just, it's not the best film ever made. It's just a normal film.
The visual spectacle of it for granted these days, considering where film was at the time.
Maybe, but spectacle doesn't put butts in seats. I didn't think.
You should see the Transformers box office. Heyo.
Oh God, yeah, I suppose you got me there.
But yeah, roller coaster films, eh? It was absolutely phenomenal. Because I remember when Endgame came out, it felt like a roller coaster trying to get to the peak before it does the big drop, and it slows down and it starts to click, 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 or when you spin one of those wheel of fortune type things where you don't know where it's going to land. And I was like, I don't think Endgame's going to reach Avatar. It's so close, but we're slowing down so much, and it just passed it, not by much, and by so little, in fact, that when it reopened again for a re-release, Avatar handily and easily caught by it. Avatar just done that, and I guess it beat the second place in that time by a long way off, but it seemed to have happened so naturally, and I'm crazy about it. How did that happen? How?
I don't know. I don't see. It doesn't have a lot of cultural resonance in the same way that something like Terminator is going to be around forever. I don't think of Jake Sully as this lifetime icon.
I think the world might have a lot of staying power if the characters don't.
The blue cat people, I suppose, maybe.
The blue cat monkey people. I mean, it's a great time for Zoe Saldana. Avengers Endgame and Avatar are both 2 of the greatest films ever made. She's in both of them. It doesn't matter who wins this, she wins this.
Zoe Saldana wins.
Zoe Saldana wins both, which is great news for her. That must make her agent so happy. Must make her really happy as well. I hope. Why would I want something bad? I'm hoping Avatar 2 will be great.
Maybe so. And also Ubisoft is making a game.
And Ubisoft is making a game. We have so little to talk about in regards to the game, ladies and gentlemen, that we had to resort to talking about the film.
Other Ubisoft stuff, we got Far Cry 6 news, which I want to talk about. I know you don't care about Far Cry.
Please tell me what you're thinking.
Just a little thing. So, obviously, they've got Moff Gideon as the villain, which is obviously great casting because he's a great villain. But they're also doing this weird thing where the DLC for the game, you play as the villains of previous games.
Really?
Which is
you're playing as the Meaning of Insanity guy?
Yes.
What is that DLC? Does that change the story, or are you just changing a skin?
I mean, the DLC for Far Cry are usually little side stories, little mini adventures starring a different protagonist. Mm-hmm. So I think it looks like they're doing some sort of weird dreamscape shite with it. But the shot they show is you're in the eyes of the Definition of Insanity guy, and that scene from the game that everyone knows, that after that where he kicks you off into a pool with a brick tied to you.
Yeah,
it's that, but except you're the Definition of Insanity guy, and it's the protagonist of Far Cry 3 who kicks you off. So they're doing an inversion thing. They're doing multiverse things, Nathan.
Woohoo!
But yeah, it's weird to me because
is it set in the world of Far Cry 6?
I mean, I don't think so. I think it's completely unrelated.
So it's just.
I mean, all of the villains of Far Cry die at the end of the game. So.
Yeah. So it's just DLC that's just fun times. It's got nothing really to do with the lore.
You know my feelings about playing as villains. I don't like it. I tried doing a Renegade run of Legendary Edition, and I hated it and gave up. So.
Yeah, I know. I understand that.
I mean, especially since the villain of Far Cry 4, Pagan Min, is explicitly a fascist monster who murders his subjects and stuff like that. It's I don't want to play as Pagan Min.
Is this? No, you talking about what game are you talking about? Sorry.
Far Cry 4, this is the
Far
one.
Cry
I think
4.
it's voiced by Benedict Cumberbatch.
And then the 5th one is like the religious town in Arizona or Alabama or something?
Yes.
And then the 6th one is like a Cuban dictator?
Yes.
Right, okay. Central American dictator or something like that. Right, okay.
I will say I'm slightly more interested in Far Cry 6 than I was 5, just because 5 had this horrible metatextual nonsense level to the story, which I hated.
I don't know if I would ever like Far Cry, so I've never played them.
They're okay. They're a mixed bag. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. They're a mixed bag.
Is there a villain for Far Cry Primal?
There's a couple villains for Far Cry Primal. One of them is a Neanderthal who eats people.
And is he gonna be...
I don't think he's one of the playable villains, no.
No, that's what I was wondering.
It looks like it's just the mainline villains. Also, weirdly, they're accusing Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon as part of the season pass for Far Cry 6. It's just like a little note that they added there, which is very strange.
Is there a season pass?
Of course there's a season pass.
Of course, sorry, I should know. Of course there's a fucking season pass.
Let's see, one more game. At least one more game I want to talk about before we get to Halo. Oh no, two
That's
more.
fine.
They announced a Borderlands spin-off called Wonderlands, which I think is a pretty good name, regardless.
Is that the Tiny Tina game?
That's the Tiny Tina game, yes.
Yeah.
It's a full game spin-off of the Borderlands 2 DLC. So, it's got a pretty strong cast. I don't know if you caught the cast of it.
I didn't catch the cast of it.
The first one was... Oh god, I forgot his name now. The Brooklyn Nine-Nine guy.
Terry Crews.
No, the white Brooklyn Nine-Nine guy.
Oh, the main guy?
Andy Samberg.
Andy Samberg.
Yeah, he's in it. There was a couple others that I've completely forgotten now. But
Oh,
strong
maybe I
cast
did.
for it.
Yeah. And
And obviously Ashley Birch as Tiny Tina.
of course.
So yeah, not much. It was just a little teaser. But I'm a simp for Borderlands. So
Simp for Borderlands, as you are. Yeah, you're gonna do a deep dive into why this next game is gonna be bad as well.
Only if it's bad.
Only if it's bad.
I'm definitely going to do that for the movie, because I know the movie's going to be bad.
You know the movie's going to be bad, ladies and gentlemen, but that is a discussion we can have at a later date. Just prepare yourself. What's your thoughts on this other game?
Oh yeah, I was just going to say, they had a full sort of trailer for the Guardians of the Galaxy game that they're making. I don't know if you watched that one.
I did see or hear about that, and I think, wasn't there controversy around it? Were people not thrilled with it or something? Or they thought characters didn't look the same way they did in the films? Which,
They've done a weird mix. They've done a very strange mix. So like, Peter Quill is obviously designed after movie Peter Quill, but then Drax is very obviously designed after comic book Drax. They've gone for like a weird half and half in between. It's strange and it clashes quite a bit. I don't know, like, I never played that Avengers game. I know you bought it, and we were talking about it before we started recording.
Yeah, the new Avengers game is quite good, actually. I quite like it, but I never completed it because it does get quite boring, actually. The gameplay is solid, but when you have done everything for the first 15 minutes, that's kind of the game, if you like. I think the story was quite interesting, but it's constructed in a weird way where, like, you finish a mission, then you go back to the helicarrier, and you finish the mission, you go back to the helicarrier. And I felt really disconnected from things. Like, the plot is kind of progressing, and a lot of things was kind of happen off screen, to the best of my memory. And I don't know, I felt like I was missing out on a lot of stuff, and I just got bored. I still got it installed, like, and then when I upgraded to my next gen console, because it was originally an Xbox One title, I also reinstalled it for next gen, but I haven't played it yet again. And now there's a new DLC for Wakanda coming out with Black Panther in it, and I think Ant-Man and Hawkeye are now in it as well. Like, it's been so long since I played it. I should go back and play that game. But do you think it's going to be the follow-up to the Avengers game?
Well, they've said specifically that it's a single-player only game, and it looks like, at least from the trailer, you only play as Star-Lord. He's the player-controlled character, so it is a Guardians of the Galaxy game, but you're limited to, like, one character, I think. That's the impression I got from the trailer.
Yeah, that doesn't really bother me. Just pick your protagonist. Star-Lord's the leader of the crew, so why not?
It doesn't bother me. I think it's actually a good idea because it gives the game more focus.
Yes, otherwise it could be a scattershot mess.
The thing was, though, the humour in the trailer was definitely a hit and miss. Some of it was good, some of it was like, oh, okay. Like, there's the shot at the end of the trailer on, which apparently they were very proud of, was Star-Lord, and there's like tentacles coming out of a door, and he's like, I'll call you later, I'll call you. And it's like, oh, he fucked the tentacle monster. Isn't that funny?
Well, I don't actually think I will have a big problem with this, because I happen to think that's a big problem with the Guardians of the Galaxy films. I'm not a big Guardians of the Galaxy person, to be honest with you. I find them actually quite annoying. The films are well constructed, and James Gunn does a fabulous job with the material, and like it's deliberate. It's not happening by accident. It's just not suited to my tastes. I get a little bit kind of, oh, ah ha ha. Like in Avengers Infinity War, the bit with him and Thor, where he's like, you're changing your voice, you're mocking me. No, you're mocking me. I just don't find it, but I think it's primarily a Star-Lord problem, actually, because I find Drax and Dave Bautista to be incredibly funny.
Yes.
Something about Star-Lord stops being funny to me and becomes really, really annoying, actually. Whereas some other people can get away with being quite funny. So when you're saying that, like, oh, it's not really funny, that's how I already perceive the Guardians of the Galaxy in quite an annoying sense. So the game probably won't read any different to me.
That's fair enough. I do wonder if this game's going to be better received than the Avengers game, because the Avengers game, it's kind of being held up now as like the epitome of cheap cash-in live service games.
Yeah, I would agree.
That's where the Avengers game is sat right now.
I don't think it's turned a profit. I think it's operating at a loss, but they've invested so much money into it that like they can't call quits. They've got to keep ploughing money into it in the hopes it turns a profit.
Yeah. You know, I just realised.
Yeah, go on.
We didn't get a single Star Wars game this E3.
Yeah, they've got no Star Wars property to try and co-promote with.
It's weird though, because I would have expected at least one. They've got multiple studios working on Star Wars games now. I thought one of them would have at least announced something.
So it's all early days, and it's the time with future film projects, Kyle. They've got nothing to show.
I suppose. There's games that we know they're working on though. Like I think it's been. I feel like I say this every time, that it's been confirmed that they're working on another Fallen Order sequel. I think.
Sure. I don't know. Sure. Why not? I know Ubisoft's working on a game.
Yep. Apparently, Ubisoft is working on a Star Wars game because the producers saw that their Avatar game and were impressed. So there you go.
We never heard any more in the Indiana Jones game.
No, I was
which
shocked
is strange
by that as
because
well.
That's obviously going to come out to tie in with the fifth film.
Yes, I would think so.
Maybe they're in deep trouble and they've got nothing to show. Like, oh no, this game's going to have to get delayed and it's not going to meet the film.
Well, it's like we were saying, we were both concerned before about an Indiana Jones game and how it was actually going to work.
Yeah.
What do you do with Indiana Jones?
He has a whip. He has a gun.
Like, yeah, I guess you just make a Tomb Raider clone, don't you? That's it.
A Tomb Raider clone, that's the game. With Nazis.
Indiana Jones has never struck me as athletic as Lara Croft, you know? I can't imagine him, like, scaling cliffs and stuff.
I think he's not scaling cliffs, but I think he's pretty athletic in the first film. In Raiders of the Lost Ark, he's relatively... I mean, Crystal Skull, he's very athletic, but that's a stunt double. So it's going to be difficult, I think, but ultimately, they're going to plough money into it and they'll probably play it anyway. I know this is going a bit off topic, but whenever I see those pictures, those leaked set pictures of Harrison Ford in the costume, I don't care if Ken Crisco isn't widely reserved. I don't care if this is an 80-year-old man trying to be Indiana Jones again. I hear the tune. I hear the tune, Kyle. I picture the end of The Last Crusade and I'm going off into the sunset and it makes me happy. That's how Star Trek wants me to feel when I see Q.
I'll just rattle off some of the announcements that we have nothing to say, just to make sure we have nothing to say. Elden Ring, do you care about Elden Ring at all?
Don't know what that is.
It's the game that George R. R. Martin is writing.
I don't care.
Yeah, I didn't think so. Mario plus Rabbids, probably don't care about that.
Don't care.
Stalker 2, you probably don't care about Stalker 2.
Nah, I don't care. Is Skull and Bones in here?
Nope.
I got
Battlefield 2042, don't care about that. The Outer Worlds 2, they tricked me with a good trailer, but
that was a good trailer.
It was a good meta trailer about how trailers work at E3. I got it was funny, but then they said it was the Outer Worlds 2 and I lost interest.
It's tragic. Good in the marketing department though, good on the marketing department.
Okay, let's talk Halo, Nathan. I mean, I am saddened that they announced a friggin' battle pass, Nathan. I'm not happy about it.
I have resigned to that being the way of popular gaming these days. They have done it, I think, very well, though, and better than most places. Or different too, I don't know if it's better than. When the Battle Pass comes out, it exists forever. You can buy it 3 years later, you can buy it 6 months later, you can buy it when it's brand new, and there is no expiration date on it. So when you're 5 Battle Passes down the line, you can still go back to your first Battle Pass and keep working it up, and that can happen between now and whenever the game stops getting support, I guess. It's just essentially customizable DLC that you need to play the game to ensure the unlock for. But that is still going to be over and above in-game unlockables. They were very specific. That says there's going to be a lot of hundreds of I think they said there'd be millions of combinations. So in terms of how that comes down individual customization pieces, hundreds of at least.
I did see that you could add like specific prosthetic arms and stuff. So
they were like, for the first time, and I was like, I played Halo Reach.
Well, I think they were. I did notice that too, but I think they were specifically. This is the first time you can specifically pick like which arm and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, I knew.
Because in Reach, it's left arm or nothing.
Left arm or nothing. 3 different chest variants.
Do you remember? I think it was a couple of maybe last year. There was a controversy because they announced that they'd removed custom colors in favor of like color packs, basically like shaders in a Destiny. Do you remember this? Is that still a thing? I didn't catch it in this vid doc that they released.
So I think that was poorly reported on. So how I have interpreted it is, you've got your base colour scheme if you want it, the way Halo's always done it. But then you can also get, I think they're called coatings, custom coatings if you like, where you can colour your Spartan, but you'll have preset design layouts, you know. It's like how in Mass Effect you can get coatings for your N7 Shepherd armour, but then you can also customise what that coating's colour code will be. So I think the colours are still there, but you can get custom coatings for like a pattern or something.
Okay. I will say the customization and just the design of this game, from what I've seen, it does look very, specifically the multiplayer looks very Halo Reach, actually. I don't know if you got that as well.
I think it very much does. I think it looks like Halo Reach and Halo 5 had a baby.
Yes, it's somewhere in between those two.
Yeah, no Power Ranger stuff like Halo 5, but the Spartan feel looks quite militaristically, in a way Halo Reach only had.
They've gone more bulky with it.
I think these said they're like 3rd gen Spartans or something, but they're not Spartan 3s, they're like a 3rd generation of Spartan 4, which I guess came with Halo 4.
Sure.
So Spartan 3s take inspiration.
I do wonder, they haven't shown it yet, but they have mentioned the Infinity. Like, if they show, like, Palmer, is her armor still going to look like Halo 5 armor? Or are they going to change her design as well?
I think she might get a Master Chief redesign where they just don't kind of, like, it's still vague. They've reintroduced, 343 really like to reintroduce that classic scout helmet that she wears, and it's been in the game since Halo 3. I think that she will still vaguely look the same, like, she's still going to have that helmet, but I think maybe some of her chest and armour pieces might look a little bit different. Her colour scheme will stay the same, you know. But no, I actually was more interested to talk about the multiplayer, to be honest with you, than the campaign, though I'm fine to talk about the campaign. I feel I'll be doing it at the service, to just ignore it. But no, I'm really excited for the multiplayer, actually. Some of the flag designs are back from the old Halo games, like the snake and all that, from like Halo 1 and 2 and for Red Team.
There's a map that looks sort of like Valhalla.
Yeah, the power-ups are back, but they're in a...
Instead they're like droppables now or something, yeah.
Yeah, well, like equipment existed in Halo 3, but it was like power drains and health bubbles and bubble shields. But this is like power boost and active camo. They're back, but now they are the equipment from Halo 3 instead of orbs of power that you just kind of.
I didn't catch. Did they keep like the claiming and stuff from Halo 5? I didn't notice it in the trailer.
Clamber.
Sorry.
Yeah, I never. You know what? They never spoke about movement that much, except the grappler, which I think is also an equipment pickup. I think. They didn't.
Yeah, the grapple does look. The grapple looks like one of those things that's going to be insanely annoying, actually.
Yeah, I think it's going to be cool, but I think it's going to be like to have 2 shots and it'll be broken.
I mean, here's the thing. I don't know if the game can beat Titanfall 2 in terms of grapple physics. I don't know if it's possible.
No, I don't know if it's possible either. But I think that it's going to be really interesting to see how people react to it, because they never mentioned clamber. I never even saw sprint in there. Thruster pack looks to be gone. I don't think thrusters are going to be a thing anymore.
I think I did see Spartans running. I think they still have sprint.
Did you? Right, okay, yeah, because there was a part where they
Did
mentioned
you notice?
that
I didn't notice if every game had aiming down sights.
I think I saw a quick clip where an assault rifle aimed down sights, and it wasn't that new rifle, it was a classic Halo.
Because that's one of those things that you really just can't remove once you put it in, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that I think that's baked into Halo now. I never saw Sprint, but if you say so, that's fine. I'm quite happy Sprint's still around. I think there would be a lot of complaints about how it slows down the gameplay, even though in Halo 3 didn't have Sprint, but you had increased movement speed, so you did actually cover a map quicker anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm fine with it. I'm looking forward to it, as I've said. They've got a new weird warthog for some reason. It's like a transport hog that was in the old Halo games, but they've called it the Razorback or something, and you can pack power weapons and stuff in it.
They've brought like the vehicle customization stuff from MCC.
Yeah, which I think is great.
I did note in that little multiplayer thing that you can destroy specific parts of vehicles, which I thought was a cool little detail.
Yeah, that is really cool. I'm looking forward to destructible vehicles. I wonder if you're going to be able to switch seats in the Warthog without getting out, because then there's just that in Halo 5. So I assume they're not going to take that out either, unless there was a competitive reason to do it.
Yeah, I would hope so. Be able to do that since Borderlands 1. Gosh. Getting with the times.
Multiplayer is just free.
Yes, that's why they've got a battle pass.
Yeah, but there's already going to be a bunch of customization stuff that won't be Battle Pass dependent, but I'm fine with that.
See, they say that, but here's the thing, Nathan, I don't believe them.
Well, they said that new samurai armor they showed was just got through gameplay, no Battle Pass required. As an example, because that was the big showstopper armor piece that everyone was really excited about.
It's the Edge Boy armor, yeah.
When all the armor stuff's out, will there probably be more stuff in the Battle Pass altogether? Probably, but I think a bunch of legacy armor stuff isn't going to be in the Battle Pass. I think a lot of stuff's just going to be in the game to get through gameplay.
Here's the thing I at least appreciate about all the visuals they've shown so far, which is... Yeah. The worst part of Halo 5 multiplayer is that every single piece of customizable armor looks like shit. Like, it all looks terrible. Every single helmet looks terrible.
Yeah.
And in this
Some of the classic armor pieces don't look bad, but yeah.
Oh, like, every time you open a rec pack in Halo 5, it's like, well, there's a bunch of crap I'm never going to wear.
Yeah, no, I agree. They mentioned no loot boxes.
Yeah, they did mention that.
And I see the people who were in charge of Halo 5. I wonder what they're doing with games now. I bet they don't even work on games anymore. Obviously, I know some of the executives at 343 are still there. I just mean the people that decided that rec systems were going to be good, because now they've been completely removed from Halo.
Well, they said no loot boxes. They didn't say anything about loot packs, okay?
Fair. The rec system was a loot box.
It's only a loot box if it comes in a box, Nathan. Come on.
The rec was the biggest surprise mechanic ever. Like, it was crazy. Halo 5, in retrospect, I know people always thought it was crazy, but the way games have kind of started to find a balance between paid content and no paid content, because I think a balance has started to show itself. Halo 5 is so shocking in retrospect now. Like, considering where things have landed, there's still monetization in games now. That's happened. That Pandora's box is staying.
Yeah,
open.
there's almost nothing you can actually unlock in Halo 5. It's all loot boxes.
Yeah, Halo 5 is crazy. MCC, though, is a polar opposite, where literally everything is free. They have battle passes they release monthly that are just free and they last forever. You never need to spend a penny in MCC, and they've put more work into it. That game is almost 10 years old. It is almost as old as Halo 1 was, when they released the anniversary. Yes. Then it will soon be as old as Halo 2 was when its 10-year anniversary came around. It was coinciding.
And we never got our Halo 3 anniversary.
Never did. It's Halo MCC is a fucking good game. Now, and it's still getting added to. And I hope Halo Infinite follows from MCC and not from Halo 5. Though, we were about to move on to campaign, and I think we'll soon find out that maybe you wish it had followed on from Halo 5 a little bit more.
I mean, here's the thing. Okay, so they showed a new, cinematic story trailer, which, for the most part, didn't tell us anything new. The first half of that trailer is crap we've seen for the past 3 years, basically, of Master Chief floating around in space while a pilot man is worried. That's our impression of Halo.
I did like
Infinite.
Halo Infinite. Yeah, I did like some of the dialogue though. He's like, a pistol, one bullet's not enough, and he's like, it's enough. And the music quite mellow. That was classic Halo in tone. I thought they nailed that.
But as you mentioned, it was quite humorous to see Chief dancing around in zero gravity,
smashing into dead bodies. That was hilarious.
But then he meets teenage Cortana, and teenage Cortana says, "We've retconned the entire last game."
She's like, don't you remember? Did you hit your head? Why don't you remember? I was assigned to infiltrate this installation, mimic Cortana, and then shut her down. You were supposed to then extract her to Infinity for deletion. And also, I was supposed to be deleted once this thing kicked in, but I haven't been deleted, and Cortana ain't here. So who deleted Cortana, and why haven't I been deleted yet? Or is Cortana even deleted? So it feels like they're not retconning the plot of Halo 5, but they're doing the plot of they're doing the follow-up to Halo 5 off screen.
You know the meme where someone talking to you where it's like 2020? COVID? What are you talking about? We have to go do this fun thing. You know that meme?
Yeah.
It's basically that meme.
Yeah.
Guardians? Cortana taking over? What are you talking about, Chief? We have to do this entirely different thing.
Halo Infinite looks to be starting off where Halo 5's original sequel ended.
Yes. It's like they skipped a sequel.
Yeah, we're missing a game. I do wonder where, Spartan Locke and Osiris is. That is this question I have. Are they on Infinity? I'm really... See, given how much they've changed the tone of these games entirely to be older Halo, I'm so surprised Infinity is even mentioned. I thought they were just...
So am I. That was the biggest shock of the whole trailer to me, is that they even acknowledged Infinity.
I mean, Infinity was a part of Halo 4, which wasn't that controversial. I know people didn't like the dieback that much, but...
Infinity it symbolises the new era of Halo. It looks new Halo to me. I don't know if they're not going to change they might. I mean, they might just completely change the design of it. They did that for other ships, so...
I actually really liked the Infinity. Now, the Infinity was definitely symbolism for a new era of Halo. That was how Halo 4's multiplayer opened up, with that fleet shot of them flying around Earth with all the Halcyon class cruisers being dwarfed compared to the mega structure of Infinity. And yes, that was a symbol of the 343 era, and they're still acknowledging it. Now, I guess, like I say, Halo 4 wasn't hated by most people. Maybe they're not throwing everything out. They'll class that game as a win, broadly speaking. But I really don't want them to redesign the Infinity. The Infinity is actually something I really like about the new era of Halo.
You know how people talk about the Star Wars sequels is they should have had a plan. Halo is that times 5. This sequel trilogy is they specifically set out not to have a plan, to just do everything completely random for every sequel.
I mean, I'm convinced that the person interviewing Halls at the start of Halo 4 was supposed to be Agent Locke, and it just never... They just changed who Agent Locke was at one point, so that wasn't him anymore. Because she's like, I've spoke to only people, but you're something different. There was something there, in my opinion. I'm very strong with that belief that they had a plan.
I always forget about that at the start of Halo 4.
Yeah. But they just didn't do anything with it. And then Halo 5 came around. Again, because mass pop culture has dealt with a film being retconned for a while now, because The Last Jedi happened a number of years ago now, and then The Rise of Skywalker came out and retconned it. And I said at the time that Halo 5 was going to have the same thing. And you agreed with me, and that was fine. But obviously, because games take so long to make, we've kind of moved on with our lives and forgotten about it. And then, surprise! The thing we spoke about and knew was going to happen years ago was finally happening, and now it's reawakening all these old wounds that certain people might have.
Years ago I made a terrible video defending Halo 5, which, I might still revisit one day and try and make that video again, because it's a bad video and it's not convincing. But... I like I say, I've since games take longer to make, I came to my peace that they were going to ignore everything that happened in Halo 5. I've made my peace with that. I knew that was going to happen. I just found it funny how blatant it was. I thought they would be more subtle about it. I
actually was quite happy that they still gave some sort of string of continuity. That's also what I quite like at the start of The Rise of Skywalker. There's some sort of string of continuity between them, even though the end effect is basically there was no consequences. But
I mean, I guess if I do want to get more emotional about it, I do think the setup of Cortana as a villain is pretty good. I think they could have done something with that, but I guess they didn't want to.
Well, I think there's still a fear of AIs in this lore now, because they said that after you've infiltrated this Cortana thing to deactivate her, you will then automatically be deleted, because we do not want
How do you feel about teenage Cortana?
I'm fine with it. I actually am surprisingly fine with it. Again, like I say, if you're supposed to mimic Cortana, you make another Cortana model that was set up in Halo 4. they've made something that's similar to her but not the same, younger, changed the appearance to have a UNSC
Wears
uniform.
clothes.
Wears clothes. That's fine. I'm all fine with this. It's still Jen Taylor voicing her, even though she does look a little bit different in the face.
I mean, Cortana looks completely different in every single game, so it's fine.
Fair. It's fair. You're not wrong.
That's consistent.
Yeah, that's consistently inconsistent. So, I'm fine with it. I actually do quite like that they are sort of continuing AI skepticism on with the you were supposed to be deleted and you're not deleted. Because they didn't want, and I'm inferring, I'm kind of putting a lot of inference onto it, but why would they have her set for automatic deletion? Well, surely because they don't want another Cortana taking over the universe. I wonder where fucking...
What about poor Roland? Do you think Roland's dead?
I actually think Roland might... Well, I actually know if they're retconning a lot of the stuff, Roland might be something they cut. Oh shit!
It's entirely possible.
They mentioned Infinity, so I think Roland could still win the board because I actually quite like Roland. I've noticed they're doing something that I'm convinced is an outcome from Halo Wars 2.
Well, the Banished is in it, so that's something.
Yeah, no shit. They've made the AI a little bit kind of young and insecure and uncertain, and it's kind of cute and a little bit kind of innocent, and that's exactly
the same as Isabel.
That's Isabel from Halo Wars 2, and I thought, well. That's just what they're doing with Cortana now. Because Cortana's a really confident, headstrong, character.
Cocky.
Yeah, quite cocky and quite out there. So was Serena, and Serena was great. I think they've realised that people really like the Spartan versus.
They're going for the Last of Us effect, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're going for the daddy Master Chief. No.
Don't Google that. Don't Google that.
The dadification of gaming is back.
Dadification of gaming. Yeah, baby.
Kratos is a dad. Master Chief's going to be a dad now.
Yeah.
Everyone becomes dads.
Mm-hmm. The head of Red Team, what's his name? Jerome. He's now a dad to Isabel.
And I feel like their relationship was more romantic in nature. I don't know. Yeah.
I thought Master Chief and Cortana's relationship was more romantic in nature.
Yes, but this is Teen Cortana, so it's different.
This is Teen Cortana. I wonder what her name is, like Cortana 2?
Cortuna?
Cortuna! That's the name of the episode. No, yeah, you're not wrong. So I'm still intrigued. Now, I do happen to think this game is going to be the Destiny Halo. I still think that.
Yes. Was it last year that they said that they were releasing the story in episodes or something like that? So that kind of style of releasing it?
I think they said the story will constantly be updated, and they never said expansions, but if you apply the graft of Destiny over this new game, that's how it will be. There'll be a vanilla story that'll launch, and then they'll update it with a Dark Below, then House of Wolves, and a big Taken King sort of expansion at some point, and they'll keep going on with it. And they say it'll be for months and years to come.
They had like a random brute guy, and it's like, this is our big villain for the first arc of this story, and it's just a random brute guy. Obviously not the big bad.
I do not think that this big guy will be the head villain of the vanilla game. I think he will just be a local villain for like an arc of the game, like a local drugs boss in a Spider-Man type game where he's not the main villain, but he's regionally a big problem. For the AA turrets that we're taking out in that mission segment, he might be bad for that area of the game.
He's the Decimus.
I like Destiny, I really do. I'm still playing it. I'm playing Destiny 2 again. But
you don't want Halo Destiny?
I don't want Halo Destiny, which is difficult to be like, yo boys, don't want another one. So that's why I think the multiplayer is going to entertain me a lot more, because it's classic Halo multiplayer, which we've always historically loved. And despite me feeling like I've not played Halo 5 in over a year now, I've still put in a lot of hours to Halo 5's multiplayer historically.
Yeah. Halo 5 played okay. Like, say we will about like story and rec packs and all this. The gameplay was pretty good in Halo 5.
Yeah, I think that especially in PvP, I think the gameplay might be a slightly bit underutilized in PvE, but in PvP, I think it was very good. The combat system was very good. I think like your shoulder dash and stuff was pretty much useless in PvE, but I think in PvP it was very, very good indeed. So I don't even know if maybe Halo Infinite's multiplayer is going to be better or worse. It's definitely going to be more classic, because like it or not, most people bitch and whine about the PvP of Halo 5. I still play Halo Reach's multiplayer with a lot of enjoyment.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm probably not even going to blink an eye noticing that Halo 5's multiplayer is gone.
Yeah,
and
fair enough.
The aesthetic is also great times 1,000. So yeah, I really think I'm going to actually enjoy Halo Infinite's multiplayer significantly. And because it's free, that just makes it easier for us all to play together. Woohoo!
I wonder if they're going to have a PC launch for it. Have they said that?
Yeah, it's coming out to PC. Yeah, and it's going to be crossplay.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
It's got a full PC like version of the game. Halo 5 is going to be the only Halo game not on PC by this launch.
Okay, I just want to jump back to the story for 1 sec, because obviously they're bringing the Banished from Halo Wars 2, because Halo Wars 2 was a smash hit. Not a smash, but it was a surprise hit. Right? I don't think they expected it to be as well received as it was.
Especially after Halo 5, yeah, everyone loved the story of Halo Wars 2. I think, like, people, maybe not sales-wise, but every single person that played Halo Wars 2 thought the story was absolutely amazing.
Yes. So, but I still find it funny, because very obviously the Banished was not envisioned as the big bad for the series. They were envisioned as a side villain for a side game.
Yeah, that's true. Do you think that might have long-term consequences for the level up they're trying to give them?
I do, because, I mean, they've made no mention of Atriox, which is weird, but I think it's because Atriox is the villain of Halo Wars and they want to keep him that way, I think, maybe, because I think they had plans for Halo Wars 3, they must have.
There might be some in-studio conflict about that, like the executives like, Halo Infinite's our next mainline game, we need your popular villain, and the people that make Halo Wars 2 are like, no, we have not a trilogy planned out, but we have a small duology planned out here. We need him to finish our trilogy.
Yes. And I kind of feel like that might actually be the case, because otherwise they would be going all in on Atriox. Everyone loves Atriox. They would shove him right in there, I have to imagine, right?
Hopefully, or maybe they're thinking not enough Halo fans played Halo Wars 2.
I mean, you could easily reintroduce Atriox as a villain. Like, it doesn't take that much setup. It's like, he's a brute. He was banished.
Halo Wars 2 implies that he's dealing with the end of the Spirit of Fire still, because even though they had a small victory where Anders went back to Earth via a Halo ring, and a Guardian intercepted her, which that to me that also proves that Halo Infinite story couldn't really have been in motion much past 2018 or something, or 2017, because that post-credit scene, which I guess could have been in the works for a couple of years, was directly meant to still play into Halo 5's ending.
Yes,
and
which was a fun little thing where you see the Guardian at the end. It's like, I remember those.
Which was fun if they were going to follow in Halo 5's story, but they're not. So now Anders has got a Guardian and a Halo ring together, and the Spirit of Fire are still at the Ark dealing with the armies of Atriox.
Well, the issue that's there too is Halo Wars 2 very heavily implies that all of the Banished are on the Ark. Like, there isn't, like, other Banished out in the galaxy. That's where the Banished are. They're on the Ark. I thought that was the implication, right? Yeah,
there's, like, the Banished, apparently the Banished are so bad, the Covenant and their prime couldn't even bring down Atriox, and the Banished was, like, a cancer that was growing in the galaxy. But
that's true,
But it does imply to me that they kind of work as a single fist. They don't splinter out. They don't have regional offices, if you like. It's like they go somewhere, do their thing.
Atriox is in charge.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they're branching out. We don't know the time jump between this and Halo Wars 2 and this.
It could be. It seems like it's a while, to be fair.
Yeah, it does seem a few years past.
To me, that ending of Halo Wars 2 also set up, like, maybe Anders will be in Halo 6. I thought that was possible, but I'd be shocked if we see Anders.
Maybe she's on the Infinity, but why would the Infinity go anywhere near a Guardian? Why would the Infinity go anywhere near Halo Ring with a Guardian round it when they were running away from Guardian EMPs? I wonder what they're going to address. Maybe in Halo Wars 3
they've got so much random crap set up.
I think it's going to be interesting, because Halo 5 just threw a lot of shit at the wall.
I mean, I think Halo 5 is messy, but I think it did set up a clear Halo 6 that they just decided not to do.
I agree. It did do a setup for AI Empire on the rise, and the Infinity is on the run, and then Halo Wars 2 ends with her going back to the comm beacon that's in range of reach, which maybe she could get picked up on, but then a Guardian intercepted her. But even if they did do the original plan for Halo 6, how the hell is Anders getting off that Halo ring?
Well, I mean, you could do, like, a mission to rescue her or something, because she is an expert in not Prothean technology. This is not Mass Effect. It's Forerunners?
Prometheans. Prometheans, yeah. Same thing. Tomato.
Of course. Prothean, Promethean. There's nothing confusing about that. We will talk about Mass Effect as soon as Nathan finishes it.
As soon as I finish it, I have played them. I have played them all before. I'm taking time to get through Mass Effect 3 because I'm slowly starting to experience burnout.
I have a question for you. will we see a Guardian?
They'll be referenced.
You don't think we'll even see one? Because I don't think we will. I'll take that money that we won't see one.
I don't think we'll see one either, but I think they will be referenced, and that's what I mean when I say that we're getting a sequel. We're getting Halo 7 right now, and this game's going to start where Halo 6 would have ended. And we're going to get a lot of references to what's been going on the past couple of years where Halo 6 would have happened. Or maybe some stuff that's still sort of tapering on, but even though that's quite clean, there are setups with the Spirit of Fire that I just don't think they're going to be able to track.
Yeah.
Because now Halo Wars 3 has got to take into account anything that happened in Halo Infinite.
They could keep Halo Wars completely separate by just having, it's happening in the Ark, and nothing that happens in the main universe is affecting anything that's happening in the Ark. They could just do that.
Extra galactic.
It's not unfeasible. But, the whole build-up at the end of Halo Wars 2 is we have to go reach out to the rest of the galaxy, tell them we're here, and ask for reinforcements, right? That's the point at the end of Halo Wars 2, so they can't really have Halo Wars 3 happen. It's we just beat Atriox without help, it's fine.
No, I know. So I think they need Halo Infinite to happen first.
Yes.
Or one of the expansions that they do for Halo Infinite, like the Taken King level expansion they do at the half point of the life cycle, can be Halo Wars 3 tie-in.
We have to go to the Ark and help the Spirit of Fire.
And then you play it from a first-person perspective, but then they release Halo Wars 3, which is the game again from an RTS standpoint.
See, Nathan, that would require having a plan, and I don't think they have a plan.
And coordination.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. We've got the new Halo TV series to look forward to.
Oh, God.
Halo Infinite is coming out this holiday season. I was absolutely amazed they didn't say a date, because I think they might want a week or two to shift it around if they need it. But it's this Christmas. We're already in the 6th month of the year, so in 6 months' time it'll be here already, I assume. Because they want it out before Christmas, obviously.
You think, we haven't done an actual focus on a game yet, a release, because we don't play that many games, or at least you don't. We could probably do a podcast on Halo when it comes out, right?
We could easily do one on Halo Infinite story and maybe an impressions on the multiplayer, yeah. Halo's one of those games where I will sit down and play it on Legendary Day 1 and complete it by Day 2. We want to do one on Mass Effect, don't we? But, it's such an old game, I don't know what we would have to say.
I just want to talk about it. I mean, to be fair, I did cave and just talked about it by myself because I got fed up of waiting for you.
You did click
link
that link in the description, ladies and gentlemen.
Hear me rant about Jacob Taylor.
Yeah, no, we'll talk about Mass Effect at some point. And we're also going to be back in a month to talk about Loki.
We maybe might talk about Bad Batch. We'll see what happens.
Oh yeah, the Bad Batch. I keep forgetting about it. Every week I forget the Bad Batch is a thing, honest to God.
So do I. I mean, last episode is pretty good. They had a returning character, which I guess I won't spoil.
Yeah,
I mean, they already spoiled it on social media, so...
We'll talk about it eventually, even if it's not in an episode. We will include it in an episode. We will do a segment on the Bad Batch, definitely, even if we don't do a full episode on it.
I don't have a witty thing to close on. I don't have a...
I don't have a witty thing. What's witty?
I'm making a podcast with my brother.
Yeah, oh, you are! Plug that now.
I mean, I don't have... It's not out yet. It's just in the making. As of yet, unnamed podcast with my brother, where we talk about...
You can't do another name not included. Name not included
super
too.
Not included.
Yeah. No,
we'll figure out a name. Ross is in marketing. He'll figure out a name.
Ross and Mark, he'll figure out a name. Guys, I listened to a test episode that they done. It's so interesting if you're into film like me. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, well, thank you. Let's end this podcast sincere.
Before we get soppy, let's stop.